Hi, my name is Sam. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to tell you guys why I crochet so much and how I got to where I am today and being in front of you right now. So I guess we'll just get started. So now it's 2025, but I first started crocheting in 2021 because I wanted to make holiday gifts for my family. And I remember the first thing I crocheted was a scarf for my grandma, and I loved it. In October of that year, I had a pretty intense mental health crisis and I ended up going inpatient for about a week. And when I came out of that, that's when I started crocheting. And so as I was healing from that, I had crochet, and that really helped me a lot, and I think started my love for it, and it has been throughout the years something that has been there for me when I'm not doing well, like physically or mentally. So I was casually crocheting. At the time, I was also an acting student living in New York City. I did my freshman and most of my sophomore year in New York, but then I had that mental health crisis and I ended up rethinking everything. And also, I had health issues. I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis when I was 14, about to turn 15. So I already had a chronic illness, but it was not affecting my day-to-day life. But I decided that mentally I was not in a place to want to continue to pursue an acting degree, so I decided to move back home to Tennessee, which is where I still am right now. So when I moved back to Tennessee, I took some time off. I was working at a vintage store and I started crocheting again. And then I ended up going back to school to major in fashion, and I was crocheting then a lot. But my health issues kind of kept coming up, and I had a pattern for the past 3 years. Every year in the springtime, I would be hospitalized for a different reason, a different medical reason. Things were just not going super well. But I launched my website in 2023. I was still in school, I was crocheting, I was posting a lot on Instagram. I barely posted on TikTok at the time. Instagram was my main platform. But then 2024 comes around and my health starts to decline a lot. I had a big episode in the spring that got me hospitalized multiple times with different GI issues, and I ended up having to withdraw from school, which was like the third time I'd had to do that, like in my whole college career. So when it had to happen for a third time, I was like, okay, maybe this is not the right thing right now. And I also wasn't passionate about studying fashion because I was passionate about crochet and I was doing that on my own, and on social media, I wasn't learning anything about that in the classes I was taking. So I was out of school, and this summer of 2024, I believe it was like June, so it's almost coming up on a year, I decided to start posting on TikTok every day because I wasn't really doing anything. My health was not doing well, so I just started posting. I grew my original TikTok account to 53,000 followers. It has been hacked, so I currently don't have access to it. I have my new TikTok account, which is It's Knotted by Sam, if you are not familiar with that. And I crochet so much now because of my health, to cope with my health. I have since been diagnosed. Last year I was diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It is a genetic connective tissue disorder, and actually May is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome awareness month, and it's also arthritis awareness month, and I have juvenile arthritis as well, which I believe I mentioned earlier. So big month for me. Yeah, EDS really affects me, is the one that affects me the most, and there are a lot of comorbidities that go along with it. So I have postular orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, mast cell activation syndrome goes along with it. I don't technically have that, but I have a weird thing where I have allergic reactions to stuff. I have all of these interesting medical conditions that affect all different parts of my body, and I now often walk with a cane to help with my pain and joint dislocations, and I'm not able to work an in-person job Luckily, I have been able to make social media and selling patterns start to make income for myself, and I'm able to have structure in my day, and it has drastically improved the quality of my life. Like, I don't know what I would be doing right now if I wasn't doing social media, because it gives me so much fulfillment and I feel like I'm doing something and accomplishing something, and it's nice to hear that other people like what I'm doing and feel comfort from it as well. So yeah, most of my days are like crocheting and filming content, and I'm in pain a lot of the time. And it's one of the things that I can do when I'm in a little bit of pain. Not all the time. There are definitely days I cannot crochet at all. But it has been so nice to be able to create art. I have always been an artist. Like I said, I was an acting major before. I was a high school theater kid, if you couldn't tell. Very, very big high school theater kid. And I wanted to be on Broadway and be in movies and TV shows, and I loved to sing. And I have arthritis in my jaw. I didn't even talk about that. Sorry, it's a little all over the place, but I'll go back to that. So I have arthritis in my jaw and my foot, but it mostly affects my jaw. And the arthritis went untreated and undiagnosed for so long because everyone just thought I was a dramatic teenage girl because I had braces on and I said my jaw hurt, and they just thought I was being dramatic. But little did they know my jaw joints were eroding away because they weren't doing anything about it. So my jaw joints have so much damage that my bite was so messed up that when I was 18, I had reconstructive double jaw surgery. If you know anything about double jaw surgery, I had a Lefort 3 osteotomy and a genioplasty. So they also fixed my chin too, because I did not really have a chin either because of my jaw. And that happened the summer before I moved into my freshman year of college. So I was in my college dorm room, still numb from the surgery, still swollen. I still had to eat in front of a mirror because I couldn't feel my face, and I had to make sure I wasn't dribbling all over myself. So I don't even know how I did that. That's wild. Moving to New York City post double jaw surgery, not even fully healed. I was 18, it was wild. Now I'm 22, I'm like, I could not do that. Yeah, like I said, I've always been an artist. I've always loved to create things, and this has been the perfect outlet for me as someone who's chronically ill and disabled, and I get to create things all the time with my hands and share them with you. So thanks for listening to my little story about why I crochet so much, and I hope you learned a little bit more about me. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.